Hi everyone! In editing exercise 8, your goal was to revise 2 paragraphs for something called paragraph unity, plus, other stuff, any other things that you saw and felt needed to be corrected, or edited, I guess. Paragraph unity might sound fancy, but it's really just about making sure each of your individual paragraphs are organized in the best possible way. So there are 2 big strategies to help you work toward paragraph unity that, again, might sound fancy, but are actually pretty simple at heart. That being said, just because they're simple doesn't mean they're easy. You'll see more what I mean in a second. The first principle is to make sure that each paragraph has a single controlling idea. One idea that controls what's in the rest of the paragraph. That's kind of a fancy way of saying make sure your paragraph has only one main idea or topic sentence, which is, something that we've been learning ever since we've been learning to write paragraphs sometime in elementary school. Additionally, it's usually best to have your controlling idea / main idea / topic sentence at the beginning of the paragraph. Again, just like you learned in elementary school. That being said, again, it's kind of hard to do this actually sometimes, especially if you're writing a really long or complex document. Like if you're trying to write a paper about how an engine works for some reason, it's a machine with lots of interlinking parts. Where do you start? How much do you say about one part of the process before changing paragraphs and moving on to the next one? It can be really difficult to decide. One thing I suggest students do when they're writing their papers is to go through paragraph by paragraph and either using a commenting feature, Google Docs, Microsoft Word, track changes, what have you, or if you've actually printed your paper, then write in the margins. And whichever path you choose, do 2 things. You write, what's the main idea you're trying to get across in this particular paragraph? And then, what is this paragraph trying to do in sort of a meta way? How does it fit in with your bigger argument? And you do this for every paragraph in your paper. This can help you see if you do actually have one main idea at the beginning of your paragraph that is, not really sums up, but controls the rest of the ideas in the paragraph. And it can help you see if you need to rearrange the order of your paragraphs as well, but that's something we might talk about later. And finally, it can also help you see if maybe your paragraph actually has more than one main idea in it, and if that paragraph needs to be divided up. Which brings me to the next good technique. If you do find that your paragraph has too many main ideas, simply divide it up into more than one paragraph and make sure that each paragraph only has a single controlling idea. Then you make sure that that controlling idea gets just the relevant details for that idea in the body of the paragraph. Basically, once you divide it up, see if you need to kind of rearrange some sentences so that each sentence goes in the paragraph where it belongs. Now, as I said before, these techniques are pretty simple in concept, but kind of difficult in execution. Why? Well, because it means you have to really take your time when you're reading through the paper and you have to reflect on what's going on. You have to ask yourself lots of questions. What is the main idea here? Does this sentence really belong in this paragraph? Things like that. And that can take kind of a long time, especially if you're writing a really long paper. It's definitely a much more painstaking, thorough, and time-consuming process than just skimming through the paper to see if it flows. But if you do use these techniques, if you do take that time, it will really help make your writing the best it can be. Now, about the 2 paragraphs in this exercise, I'm not going to give you exact answers in case you want to revise, but I will give you a few hints. First, each paragraph does need to have a controlling idea created for it. You need to come up with a sentence on your own to put at the beginning of the paragraphs. And the other tip I'll give you is that in part 2, some of the information that's in that giant paragraph should just not be in paragraph form. It could be a bulleted list, it could be a table, but it does not belong within a paragraph. All right, that's it for now. Let me know if you want to revise, and I'll see you later.